What is good? And welcome back to the Boston Commune. This week's incredulous installment will feature commentary from Comrade Scott, Joe, Ellie, and myself. I'm not really sure how to characterize our discussion. It was unhinged and uncouth. So, content warning. Nonetheless, please do us a favor and share this content. Then do yourself a favor and enjoy your Epoch.
I mean, that's a ghost of Hugo Chavez in The Machines.
Can you guys hear me chewing?
Yeah, we love it.
Okay.
This was just real ASMR, baby.
I'll mute myself.
I'm indifferent to it.
Got a whole bunch
that I'm not indifferent to it.
It's hitting all the right spots in his cerebral cortex.
Okay, then.
Fuck that, dude.
I really don't understand chewing ASMR videos. Like, I guess I sort of do because, like, when Sansa eats, or when Arya eats, I like her chewing sounds. I like it when it's like a tiny cat mouth, like chomping on some food.
Yeah,
but
it is actually kind of cute. But like
if
everything
it's a person,
cats do
it's
is
different.
cute.
Yeah,
So real quick, are you ready with stories? Just wondering.
But I thought we were going to start off with the press release, and then you were going to talk about the Elliot Page thing, because I don't feel like I know enough to be able to talk about it.
Okay, thanks for giving everything away. I was just looking for a yes or no.
Still got shit to talk about.
Still got shit to talk about.
So we're going to take that as if, okay, whatever, Jesus.
It's a thing called editing.
I know what I'm going to do on the show. Anyways, so before we begin, I just want to read the statement, because if you didn't know, Joe Biden has recently broken his foot. His dog broke his foot. His dog is on our side trying to kill the president. We have to thank you, Comrade Major Biden.
Comrade Dog.
Comrade Dog. This is from the Biden-Harris transition team. This is a real memo, press release, I should say, that they released. For immediate release, November 29th, 2020, statement from co-first dog-elect Major Biden. Bark, 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 bark. Translation from Canine. I wish my adopted father a speedy recovery, but I strongly maintain that I have done nothing wrong. I agree with the dog. Did nothing wrong. And I look forward to the Secret Service's investigation, which I expect will confirm that I am a very good boy. And he is. He's trying to kill the president, so we love him. Welcome to the Epoch. Joe, give us the news!
The dog is a good Christian, and he did not do anything wrong.
Dog has very strong Christian values.
Tell us about Neera Tanden.
Yeah, so that really shitty person. It is still amusing to me that, she's deleted 1,000 tweets in the space of a day. That's some real effort, because apparently she is so shitty to basically everybody on the internet that now the people that she has to grovel to are also the people she's been shitting on for the better part of half a decade. So that's hilarious. But that's not even the real important thing is it's important that President Dementia Brain has decided he wants his budget director to be someone who wants to eliminate Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and also raise your taxes at the same time. She was very vocally in favor of Bull Simpson, and actually went further than Bull Simpson, because she was basically, not only do we want to raise your taxes, but we want to get rid of your Medicare, we want to get rid of Medicaid, we want to get rid of Social Security, we want to get rid of basically everything useful, because...
Joe, I'm not up on all these snazzy names. What's Bull Simpson?
Bull Simpson was a committee that Obama put together. It was this blue ribbon bullshit. Because I want to make a grand deal with the Republicans. And this was late 2010, early 2011. The Bull Simpson's Commission came to the conclusion that we should cut Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, make cuts to the VA, make cuts to the Indian Health Service, also make some mild cuts to the Pentagon, and also raise taxes.
So they were the death panel.
I like the cuts to the Pentagon. That sounds good.
Yeah, but they're never going to do that.
Those are the only cuts they should make, though. Everything else.
I know.
Cut from the Pentagon Pentagon put more funds into everything else.
Also, the Pentagon doesn't need the money because the Pentagon's been committing accounting fraud since the early 80s anyways. So they don't actually need the money because they have tens of trillions of dollars and like basically stolen taxpayer money.
Let's get that dog in the Pentagon and see how many legs he can break.
Here's the question though: if you make a cut to the Pentagon, does it just become the quadrilateral? Ha 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 ha!
I actually very much appreciated that one. That was very good. It's
That was actually kind of funny.
the smarter folks in the audience. We hope you liked it. See, we can be hard too. I just insist on dragging it down.
Can't get brows higher than that. It's the highest brow, folks.
The silence concerns me.
I'm just trying not to eat loudly on recording.
No, this is your segment. We're letting you speak.
Yes, please talk.
Wow, that's the first. Someone asking me to talk. That's the first.
Dude, we literally
Neera
asked you to
Tanden
talk
sucks.
at the beginning of every single show.
It was a joke.
I'm a liberal. I think capitalism is good.
Yeah, so Neera sucks, and I'm confused by why people think she's good, or like Sam Cedar was like, oh, it could be worse. No, it really can't. She's like on par with Rahm Emanuel. Do you know how difficult it is to be as shitty a human being as Rahm Emanuel, to be like on his level? That's like, you have to work towards that. You can't be naturally that terrible.
I mean, it could be worse because like she's so bad that even Republicans are going after her now.
It's a very weird situation that I'm actually rooting for Mitch McConnell to be acting like Mitch McConnell because it's interesting. Like, she actually has to go through 2 different confirmation votes to get confirmed. First, she has to get a favorable recommendation from the Senate Budget Committee, which it's really interesting that Bernie Sanders is the top member of the Democratic caucus on the Senate Budget Committee, and he fucking hates Neera Tanden so much. For good reason, because of the fact that she's like probably the most prominent like anti-Bernie lib in the country. So she has to deal with that, and then she has to deal with the full Senate. So she has to deal with Bernie Sanders, who hates her, and a bunch of Republicans on the Senate Budget Committee who also hate her, before she gets to the entire Senate.
Yeah, and plus she has to actually do a job for once and not just post all day. I mean, that's the real reason why like shit libs like her, is that she is known for, you know, in their eyes, owning people online. So, and just she's an incredibly online woman. Cedar posted a thing where like she joined Twitter like a year after Donald Trump and has done like 10,000 more tweets than he has in total.
Wow, that's wow. She's probably still got more tweets, even though she's already like deleted 1,000 of them.
Oh yeah. She's kind of walked into her own hell, and you like to see it.
I wanted to at least make it to like the committee hearing stage, at least with the Senate Budget Committee itself, not the whole Senate. Because I just want to see like Bernie Sanders and everybody on like on the Senate Budget Committee be like, so Senator, you tweeted on like January 4th, like 2015 or whatever, this thing. Would you care to explain your logic and reasoning on this for like a couple hours? I'd be very entertained watching her get shit on by like senators for like a couple hours on national television. That would be entertaining for me, for no other reason.
That's foul.
Do we know where she came from originally? What's her deal?
She's a longtime servant of the Clinton family.
Makes sense.
You mean the help?
Dukakis's campaign. She worked on Bill Clinton's first campaign. She worked on like Hillary's presidential primary in 2016 or whatever. She's like one of the behind the scenes like foot soldiers, I guess, for the Clintons. Very much like a part of the Clinton world, if you will. She is one of those. It's
like the shittiest theme park.
Yeah, she's one of those swamp
She's
people.
the one who killed Vince Foster. Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Did you say Clinton world?
Yeah, I mean, like that's what it's kind of referred to, like all the people who like kind of worked for them and like in their orbit, like because it's funny because like the Clintons, they get a bunch of people like, we'll die for Hillary, like if like she does something illegal, but like you want us to do some like actual work? I can't be bothered to do that.
I'm just gonna spend the rest of the episode thinking up what Clinton world would look like.
Yeah, I'm already doing that.
Clinton world. Like, let's legitimately have a Google Doc and then at the end of the episode.
Tunnel of love.
Everything here, is it illegal? No. Is it extremely unethical and borderline illegal? You betcha.
Yeah, just like a park full of animatronic Bill Clintons in all sorts of different outfits. Sometimes he has a saxophone.
That's terrifying.
There's like an austerity pond. It's almost always dry. It's like a wave pool, but they just collect
Security
rainwater.
preservation, animatronic robot that just hits you over the head with like a sledgehammer.
Just kills you.
I mean,
You die if you go to Clinton World. It's a very bad investment.
It's where you go to die.
I mean, every Democratic president since like Jimmy Carter has tried to kill Social Security, so it'd be very realistic.
Yeah, no, but you're on something, because it could be like there's those like test your strength sledgehammer games, but if you like hit the bell, then like you've done it. You finally killed entitlements.
Or you just get like a really bad back injury. It's like, oh, you haven't fulfilled the work requirements to qualify for Medicaid, which was first imposed by Bill Clinton. Actually, he's the first person to impose work requirements on Medicaid recipients.
There's like Tough on Crime Land. There's like a shooting gallery.
3 Strikes Alley.
Yeah.
There's like a carnival game where you have to cover up graffiti really fast.
I like that we've all been restrained enough not to mention like the Lewinsky scandal.
Even though, like, well, actually, I would no, because I'm about to do it anyways. Because
I mean, at the visitor center, there's a hall that's like, why didn't Medicare for All pass under Clinton?
Why do we still have Social Security? Monica Lewinsky.
Little Ken Starr puppets pop up in like the haunted house and stuff.
Oh God, yeah.
Ghosts of cigars. It's quite a fun place. Quite nightmarish.
And coherent Joe Biden screaming that they aren't being punitive and draconian enough.
The Joe Biden land would just be like an empty void, you know? Like, there's a lot of stuff, that, like, in the first, like...
It's just an ATM machine.
There's a lot, yeah. There's a lot of, like, you walk into the park and there's, like, all this, like, cool shit, and then you keep going and, like, you don't have access to it, and then you're just, like, in an empty field. And that's it. And then there's an ATM at the end of it. But you have to put money in it. It's the only way you're allowed to leave.
Delaware is an empty void. Delaware is Joe Biden land.
Hey, look, Sci-Fi Channel. Remember season 2 of Channel Zero? That was kind of like that haunted house. Yeah, let's do this, but for Biden land. Let's bring back the show. Season 5. Come on, somebody, get at me.
I used to know somebody who wrote for that show.
Yeah, Max Landis helped create that show, so it has
really
some stains on it. We don't like Max Landis here. Joe, I have family in Delaware. I spent time in Delaware. It's not that bad of a place.
It's boring as fuck.
That's fine.
Some people like boring.
I'll tell you, at the time, at the age, I liked it. Sorry, Jesse, you can go.
I was just going to say, I'm trying to think of a synthesis between, like, a log flume ride that, like, automatically overdrafts your credit card.
Somehow. You get off and you're like...
They penalize you for not buying the picture.
Yeah.
But, like, it's always taken at, like, the most embarrassing moment and everyone looks bad in it. And it's, like, just, like, a shitty, like, kind of slightly out of focus picture, but, like, you have to buy it.
Like
just like,
Obamacare.
Joe Biden's career. Just a bunch of bullshit. Exactly. Bunch of bullshit you have to buy that looks like crap. Joe, did you have any other stories?
Yes, I had a couple, actually.
I just wasn't sure. I'm sorry.
That was a long bit. You just fucking went off on that. That was nice.
Yeah. I just kind of let it go.
We love it.
The other news, I have a couple other. One is that just, came out in the news a couple hours ago, was that the advisory panel to the CDC on COVID-19 is recommending who will be getting the first round of vaccine doses.
Surprise, it's rich people.
Ding,
Actually,
ding, ding,
no.
ding,
Oh,
ding.
really?
No, actually, the people who are going to be getting the COVID vaccine first are at-risk healthcare workers and patients of at nursing homes. So nursing home residents and at-risk healthcare workers are going to be getting the first batch.
Well,
They're
makes
the
sense.
first. I mean,
For
it does, but they're also the first group that if it doesn't work,
Yeah, that's
become
kind
the
of
first
dual-edged
batch of
sword
Cronenbergian monsters that we have to kill.
True.
Well, I mean, either that or they die of COVID, so...
But this is very good news. That's very good. I don't chalk it up to the state and their qualities right now, but hey, some things are turning out all right.
We're ruined if things turn out all right, guys. It's so against our brand.
Yeah, we're fucked.
Be
What are you gonna
unhappy
do?
no matter what happens. You can count on me to be grumpy and unhappy.
Oh,
Joe's
yeah.
got a
To some
phone.
degree, no matter
Especially
what.
for you, Joe. I mean, we all
Yeah.
know you hate old people.
Yup.
They still exist. Their mere existence. He wakes up every day.
Just wakes up like, God damn it, seniors.
But is it kind of like how like the Houthis when they first took over part of Yemen, they were like death to Israel, death to America, but not literally. We were just talking about the foreign policy thing, but all the Western outlets are going to cut the part about foreign policy, so it just sounds like we want to kill everyone.
Oh, I'm sure they want to kill us for real. I would too.
Yeah,
I would understand that.
yeah.
It'd be like that meme from the primaries about like Tom Steyer to be like, well, thank you for the hesitation at least.
Oh yes.
I mean, you guys seen what I put in the chat earlier. I'm still
Oh
looking at it.
yes.
So.
When the race wars come, I'll hesitate when I take out Tony Hawk.
And he'll be grateful.
Yeah, that was the famous tweet where Tony Hawk said, "Thank you for the hesitation, though."
Tony Hawk's other famous tweet was like, he went through airport security. I think we've even talked about this in a past episode. He went
Yes.
through airport
Tony Hawk
security.
is an existential crisis in and of himself.
He gave his ID to the guy, and the guy was like, "Oh, like that skateboarder. I wonder what he's doing now."
Or the time the
Tony
girl was
Hawk-
like, "Oh, you're Tony Hawk?"
is an existential crisis?
No, like he's found
What did she
himself a couple times at like security gates or like showing his ID or having to give his name, and people are like, "Oh, you're Tony Hawk," like the skateboard guy. Or this one time there was a girl who was like, "You're Tony Hawk," and he's like, "Yep," and she's like, "Why?" And he's like, "Don't know how to answer that."
Honestly, I have to give mad props to Tony Hawk, though, because he still skates.
Greatest skater ever. Yeah.
It's unbelievable that he can still skate at that age after all the fucking knee injuries and everything he's had. Like, that's I don't even have words for that. That guy he's a trooper and a half.
And his kid's really good too.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. Like, now his kid is approaching the age where, like, you can almost respect the kid for still being in skateboarding, which I feel like still says more about Tony Hawk.
Has this kid ever done a 900? Or because it's like, how many people have done? Sorry, I'm smoking too much. How many people have done 900s at this point? Is it like more than 6 now?
Yeah, I mean, we've moved on, Scott.
Okay, sorry, I am.
Fun.
Yeah, I watched
part
that
of the
night
news.
games when he landed the 900 for the first time, and they just let him skate like way past the clock. It was pretty good. It's a historic moment. Joe,
Finish.
Joe, finish me off.
So, moving on to the less fun part of the news. On Friday, the Iranian, head of, nuclear energy, or, one of their top nuclear scientists was murdered on Friday.
Encouraging.
And he was murdered, I don't know, maybe an hour away from, in a city, an hour away from the Iranian capital, Tehran, which is basically, the equivalent of, if Rick Perry, the energy secretary, was murdered in Baltimore. And,
Yeah,
of
but
course,
fuck Rick Perry, dude.
Do you have
Fuck that
something
guy.
against Rick Perry you want to say, Joe?
No, I meant in terms of the organizational floor chart. I mean, I would
Very
have no problem.
strange example.
Well, I mean, he'd be essentially the equivalent to this guy.
Right. Assuming that anybody liked him, it would be the equivalent.
Yeah, I mean, just in terms of where he is positionally, but I assume that he's less terrible than Rick Perry.
Also assuming if let's pretend Rick Perry had any knowledge of anything scientific, then it would be yes.
I mean, Rick Perry didn't even know what his job was.
His job was
it
to tell
hilarious.
people to eat more red meat.
He
job
actually
was to
didn't
get
understand the
fucking-
Essentially did
portfolio.
To get fucking owned at Chick-fil-A.
He didn't actually understand the job of the portfolio of the job he was offered when he first accepted the nomination, which was fucking hilarious. But I digress. Mohsen Fakhrizadeh, I probably pronounced that wrong. It's okay. He was assassinated on Friday. The Iranians have blamed Israel. It probably was Israel, and by extension,
Wow.
there's a lot of evidence to support that assertion. And if the Israelis did it, there's probably 0% chance that the United States was not given a heads up before this happened, because if Israel does something of this degree, they have to let the United States know, because it's asking your parents, if you're a teenager, for the car keys. Because let's be real, as far as the Israelis are concerned, the opinion that is relevant is that of the United States, because the United States is always there to cover their ass when the United Nations inevitably condemns them for whatever shitty thing they've done this time. I mean, let's be real, they're a well-funded imperial proxy. For the most part, it'd be that surprising if they didn't let us know, hey, were like assassinating nuclear scientists this week.
Yeah, Iran has been on the brunt of a lot of
And like the
bullshit.
justification the Israelis have had for doing shit like this is like, oh, we think that like they're going to develop a nuclear weapon. There is literally no evidence. There has been no evidence for decades that the Iranians are even remotely interested in nuclear weapons. They are producing, they're enriching uranium at a purity rate of 4.5%. That is like the degree to which you would be enriching uranium if you are enriching uranium for the purposes of powering nuclear power plants. The purity that is required to procure a nuclear device, like a nuclear weapon, is 90%. They're enriching uranium at 4.5% purity. Not 90%, 4.5%.
Pretty low, bro.
They're also more or less still abiding by the nuclear agreement that we tore up 2 years ago. And so this is just like a clusterfuck and a half, because the Iranians are now going to have to be put in a situation of, do they actually like do something about it and risk a provocation or a war with Israel, which would probably be beneficial to the Israelis because they can drag the United States into this at the beginning of the next government and be like, hey, just we're dumping this in your lap. Now you get to like go halfsies with us in a war with Iran for the next 10 years.
Yeah, that sounds bad if that happens.
Yeah, I mean, like, sure,
Like
there's no
World
evidence.
War III implications bad.
Yeah, I mean, not only is there no evidence, but it would make sense that the Iranians want to do nuclear power plants more than anything because it would allow them to be more self-sufficient. And it would help the Iranians like be able to better weather like more sanctions that keep getting slapped on them, because like forcing them to like adopt like an updated modern version of like mercantilism to some degree because of the fact they are constantly being fucked by external
It's also
forces.
sacrilegious.
What is sacrilegious?
The reason why Iran, like the Iranians, don't want to use the oil is that they believe that it is like their blessed supply by God from Allah, and that it's for them, and to give it to someone else is against, Allah. And that's why they're pursuing nuclear energy, is because, it's the cleanest.
No, they can't sell it because they're being sanctioned by the United States government.
No, I know, but the reason behind there's reasons behind that as well. Like they think that their oil is blessed supply for them.
That's good to know. I didn't know that.
That's the main motivation as to why they're. Okay, fine, but that's the main motivation as to why they're trying to pursue nuclear energy instead of selling their oil or doing anything, or even tapping into their own oil supply to run their own country. Like that's the thing, is they're trying to preserve it in their own country as well.
I feel like that's a secondary concern, but like
No,
Joe, do you understand? Joe, that country was founded it used to be.
It doesn't
Okay,
really matter.
fine.
I mean, what I'm saying is, it doesn't really matter. Like, what
Country is
the motivation
literally
is. It's still
considered like the center
end result
of
the same.
Islam. I mean, like, dude.
it's literally the only
No, I mean,
country that can't participate in NA World because it's illegal to do drugs there.
Yeah, that's also true.
The religious fervor in that country is very, very, they're very serious.
Yeah, and it's very much a fucking product of our foreign policy too. Like
Yo.
we did that, so
Mhm.
Yeah, read.
And I don't blame them
Persepolis.
for, they should be able to pursue nuclear energy like the Soviet Union did, and they should be able to have a fucking nuclear arsenal because that's a great deterrent against the United States imperial state. So
I
yup.
think they're ever going to be able to build a nuclear weapon given all the constraints upon them.
I know, I'm just saying they have the complete right to. It's
No, they do.
right.
They
And
absolutely
they have
do.
like some of the best scientists on the fucking planet. They could easily do that shit if they weren't like
Well, the scientists
scrutinized
that
by
we
the
haven't
world's
assassinated
biggest.
yet. The scientists that we haven't assassinated yet.
Yeah, I don't know so much about the politics. I know more about the religion. And if I'm wrong about these things, please let me know out there.
No, they're very intertwined. They're intertwined by design.
But let's not start a war with Iran. They're good. They're good people. Like they
Yeah.
So
they
it's
sometimes
critical-
elect
Not a war that
problematic
we-
presidents to think that there's no homosexuality in their country. Which come on, bro.
Also, it's not a war that we could win.
That's another thing.
Short of like nuking the entire country, it's not a war we would ever be able to win.
Yeah, let's not nuke the entire country.
But
Let's
that's
not
the
nuke
point. It's
anybody.
like, why the fuck would we want to do it? That's also another point. It's like, why the fuck would we want to do like?
I guess
do
we just
Gotta nuke
revealed
something.
ourselves as not Basadists.
Why the fuck would we want to get into another war? A war that would most likely make like Iraq and Afghanistan look like child's play.
Fucking money, bro.
Because they have oil.
Well, I mean,
Go get
that's
that.
always the
Black
answer, but I mean,
gold.
like, a new answer. Like, an
Texas
answer
tea.
that's like different than what like we usually say.
Dude, like the history of American imperialism for just like these petty resources and bull is so depressing.
Yeah, like for me, it's like at the point, it's like why? It's like I'm not even asking like specific why, because like I'm asking for like answers that are different from like oil because we feel like it, money, or because we are terrified of communism. Because those are more answers that are always the reason.
Correct. We don't have to make anything up here. We can just say it's oil because it's oil.
Inherent fear of another belief system that has the potential to take over the global paradigm.
When I talk about like a president not starting we're not going to war, I keep forgetting the American that I am. I keep having to like clarify, like when I mean like no war because I'm an American, when I mean no war, I mean like no new wars. President X didn't start any new wars that we weren't already waging because this is America. We're usually doing at least 3 of them.
So the small war that Joe is waging on the old can continue.
Yes.
Gentle reminder that there are people in Afghanistan that were not fucking born. They were not fucking alive when 9/11 happened.
You mean like U.S. military personnel people?
Yes.
They weren't alive like before our occupation of their country began. Like our occupation is the only thing they have ever known.
The Afghani war is so old that it can now vote against itself.
Yep.
Yep. Note to self to any major global superpowers. Just don't go to Afghanistan. It never ends well for you. The British tried it in the mid-19th century. That didn't go well for them. The Soviet Union didn't. The Soviet Union tried that for a decade, and that's many historians credit that with being one of the major factors and variables for why the Soviet Union fell apart. We've been trying it for like 20 years. It's not going so great. Just don't go to Afghanistan.
Where's the fucking? We need to leave Brittany alone.
Yeah.
But just put Afghanistan in
Leave
there
Afghanistan alone. It's too mounty a place, you know? I agree, guys, you know? The cave I'm in is in Afghanistan. That's why I'm stuck. That's why I'm in a cave. Because I wanted to see it for myself. And this war, it's this, first of all, this is a very rocky terrain, you know? It's not made for.
You gotta conserve water.
You gotta conserve. First of all,
drink
these
water.
soldiers are fucking terrible with conserving water. They're just pouring it over their heads and shouting them like, you know, I know you shouldn't really say mean things about soldiers, but like, you see what they're doing, and you're just like, what are you? You're wasting water. But I got the water I have in here, so I'm fortunate to be in this cave. But like, you come to the Afghanistan, it's all these mountains. You can't really fight it like a ground war here. It's not really like they definitely have the upper hand with the terrain. I mean, they would live here. What are we doing?
Thank you for that insight.
With all the bats.
Comrade Dave in the cave.
All these bats are Islamic bats. I need to run away from them.
That's why we need so many patrons in order to get Dave out of the cave.
Comrade.
Because the cave is in Iran.
Okay, they're secular bats.
Travel fees.
I'm trying to convert these bats to Christianity. It's not. They're not. It doesn't work.
Doing in Madison Cawthorn.
Who's that? Who the fuck is that? What are you talking about?
He's the Nazi I talked about a couple weeks ago. The 25-year-old who got elected to Congress, who in his spare time tries to convert Jews and Muslims to Christianity.
Like, I was in a cave. I didn't hear about him, but like now that you describe him, like it sounds pretty great. I don't know what the problem with him is.
Dumbest fuck in the world award goes to anybody that tries to enter Sentinel Island for the purpose of converting the peoples to Christianity. You will get arrowed to death, 100%.
Arrowed. Yeah.
I remember that. Fuck that guy.
It happens
Also,
like pretty with stunning regularity. Like,
I highly recommend you look into the history of Senticle Island and why they are the way they are.
North Sentinel Island.
North Sentinel Island. Thank you. No, it would be the. Fuck you.
How much have you been smoking, Scott? Jeez.
North Sentinel Island. I highly recommend you look into the history of the island and the original attempt that was made to colonize it. So this is why they have a very staunch anyone from the outside world is bad. Fuck off. So this is why they have that perspective, is because in the 30s, some horrible shit went down. Maybe it was sooner than that. I'm not sure.
I'm looking it up right now. Looks like some shit has gone down many times. But
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like absurd. People keep trying to go there and like
they get arrowed.
Just like
It's law
spread
of
their
insanity.
like whiteness, and it's
all right. It was the 1880s. Oh, we're off.
Yeah,
Einstein's law of insanity, trying the same thing over and over
Say
again.
this
and
every
expecting something
episode,
different to
Joe.
happen. Because it's true.
No, he
It's fucking
doesn't.
true.
he hasn't said that for several episodes.
This is maybe like the second, or this is like the second one, maybe.
But yeah, don't go there. You will get arrowed. That's how it works.
You fucking deserve it.
and
It was 1771.
Yeah, rightfully
I
so.
keep getting totally wrong. But yeah, in
Leave them
1771, they were
You'll
trying.
get out.
There was an attempt to colonize the island, and one of their later in the 1880s, after someone made contact, they kidnapped a few of them and did experiments on them, and then just left them back in the island. And then they created these tales that, literally to them, it was an alien experience. They thought they were abducted by an alien, if you can imagine it. Like that's what their perspective would be. And so imagine that perspective then going back to that island, and that's why they have like such a, as we've seen, rightfully scared, guarded way about themselves.
They were literally abducted by aliens.
Yeah.
The British.
The experience many people in Africa had with Pfizer in the late 90s.
Really?
That was the experience of fucking indigenous Americans, yo.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, Pfizer was, like, literally experimenting
How is everyone's
on African
Thanksgiving?
children.
Really?
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
Same thing with the polio cure. There was through experiments on Africans.
Oh,
The email I sent out on Thanksgiving
Yeah.
for the working group was like,
Yeah, I casually mentioned that while I was at work on Monday training someone.
yeah, it was like, I would wish you a happy Thanksgiving, but it's like a fucked up holiday, so
yep.
hope you enjoy the
Very
food.
angry, very grumpy the whole day because I was not feeling well. So I was like super fucking cynical and ornery the entire day.
Did you make friends with the person that you trained?
I wouldn't know because like I only met him once, but we got along pretty well.
Yeah.
I'm amazed that he had never heard of Pfizer before. And I was like, okay, this could be fun for me.
Tell them about the podcast.
No, it makes like panning Pfizer is like really evil so much easier. Never heard of it.
Yeah, you gotta get to him while he's his mind is fresh and ripe
Malleable.
for...
Inmalleable.
Yeah, I'm looking at a Guardian article about Pfizer paying Nigerian families of meningitis drug trial victims some money after a long legal battle. Is that what it says? Yep.
Everything's fucked up and sucks.
Wait a second. How long did it take us to like formally apologize for the Tuskegee experiments?
Too long.
Like 60 years.
Did we?
Yeah, that was one thing that Bill Clinton did, I guess.
Clinton!
It only took 60 years. Wait, we said Bill Clinton did something good?
Dude,
This is very strange.
he didn't do fucking anything. He just like acknowledged that we like experimented on fucking poor black people.
Yeah, I know, but
He
still.
did less than nothing.
Okay, that sounds about. That
Yeah,
sounds
like
better.
it's not like it
I
came with reparations or
He made a
anything.
gesture.
It's just like you
Yeah,
just like stopped
true.
lying about it.
Yeah, but for a second there, I was confused because you almost made it sound like you did a good thing. I was like, okay, this sounds back to normal. Like we're not going off the rails here. But
Go
speaking
off.
of really shitty things, I'm going to read about a paragraph from an article in the New York Times on Friday about McKinsey and their role in the opioid crisis. Quote, in a 2017 presentation, according to the records presented in court, which were filed on behalf of multiple state attorneys general, McKinsey laid out several options to shore up sales for Purdue Pharma. One was to give Purdue's distributors a rebate for every OxyContin overdose attributable to the pills they sold. The presentation estimated how many customers of companies including CVS and Anthem might overdose. It projected that in 2019, for example, 2,484 CVS customers would either have an overdose or develop an addiction to an opioid. A rebate of $14,810 per quote-unquote event meant that Purdue would pay CVS $36.8 million that year, end quote. So basically, McKinsey was behind Purdue's push to go into overdrive in pushing the sale of OxyContin in 2012. And it's just coming out that it's basically McKinsey's fault for talking Purdue into this just now. For perspective, not only are they evil, but this isn't like the only drug maker that they were like trying to persuade into like pushing opioids even more aggressively, because they did the same thing with Johnson and Johnson, and that also had the same result of just human tragedy for the sake of profit.
I am going to look up right now if they have any financial ties to the Suboxone manufacturers, because like that would be the ultimate disgusting, murderous grift imaginable.
I mean, you just described McKinsey in one sentence.
Right. That's why I feel like it's worth looking up, so I'm going to do that.
They are all evil to the core. Like, I don't know how like someone works at McKinsey like isn't like a sociopath.
You know who worked at McKinsey?
Your boy Pete. Your boy Pete.
His name is Pete.
I was playing High Hopes in Beat Saber earlier. I'm still mad about High Hopes.
We had him. They came tumbling down. Joe, is that all your stories?
Well, I mean, besides the vaccine news, not really not that many uppers this week.
Yeah. And there also was the news today of Elliot Page, formerly Ellen Page. Yes.
I was like on the verge of asking if we were going to talk about that.
Yes. We've covered gendered before, so, I figured we should mention it.
It's a thing.
It's a good story. It's a good thing you like to hear. And also the fact that, like, pretty much every news outlet, like, got naming right.
Yeah, even, like,
people are learning, so our language changes.
Even Fox News.
See, Joe? They have some journalistic integrity. Come on. You gotta be materialistic about it. There's still a news station, and there's still some laws that protect journalistic standards, so they have to follow the bare minimum, so they do get things right. And it would probably be incredibly uncouth if there was the one headline that got it wrong, which, like, it's probably, like, gonna be, like, a Breitbart or some other dumb fucking bullshit that gets it wrong, of course, but, like, the fact that it won't be Fox News is a positive leap forward. You'll love to see it.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised by it all the same.
And it's good surprise. And that's fair. And that's totally fair, Joe.
It's nice to be pleasantly surprised, even by people who suck. Especially by people who suck. Or, news organizations.
It's the Onion headline where it's the person you hate the most in the world has a good point.
Trump administration desperately trying to find someone at the CIA who has a moral compass and failing.
Oh, yeah. Mr. William Barr said that his DOJ doesn't find any proof of voter fraud or any other such tomfoolery happening in the election. So it's over, baby. It's over. It's dumb bullshit. The bills are going to start to come into the Trump Foundation, and that's the real reason. Was one, he didn't want to lose because of egotistical reasons, but two, baby's in a lot of fucking debt.
It's telling, though, that Barr waited until after, because Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin all certified their election results this week. And Barr came out with his statement about 3 hours after Wisconsin election officials certified it. Basically sealed the election results.
Barr was hedging his bets. And as the leader of the Department of Justice, we don't blame him.
Troll-looking fucking horrible-looking beasts.
Technically, there is still one last move that Republicans could play if they were really insane or desperate enough to try. It's never actually been tried before, but because the final step is Congress has to certify the election results. And all it takes is that one member of the House and one member of the Senate to object to the certification, and then it goes into a debate about whether or not they will approve of or reject the objection to the results.
Yeah.
So it's never been tried before, but it could happen if they were really insane enough to be like, fuck it, we're going for it.
That's the thing about this is it's just such a crazy idea that it's the most won't happen of all of the potential coup scenarios. It's the most put in the that is totally not going to happen section of the chart. Which we're past most of them at this point, so.
It probably won't, but it's you never know, because they really are some of the Republicans in Congress really are genuinely insane. And it only takes two of them just to send us down the rabbit hole.
It's fucking just two of them. That's such a
You need one in the Senate and one in the House. You got such a
terrifying
in the Senate
proposition.
You got like Ted Cruz in the Senate, or like Tom Cotton or whatever the fuck, whatever like batshit crazy Republican in the Senate, and then you've got like 40 Freedom Caucus people.
Yeah. So you have like, okay, the country has 100 senators. It has however many hundreds, if not
435 to be exact, in the House.
Human beings. These are human beings, living, thinking, independent brains in bodies, all in these houses. And it only takes 2 of these motherfuckers to bring the entire thing down. What the fuck type of structure is that?
One that is based upon a 227-year-old document.
Fucking insane. Fucking insane. That is insane. That is precariously so dangerous and so, like, it does exist in this, like, place of, like, well, like, it's kind of in a scenario that would never happen, but it's such, like, what a fucking, like, I don't want to, like, I hate that we make this fucking reference every goddamn week or references to it every goddamn week, but it's some fucking George Lucas prequel shit. Like, it's that type of bad writing.
Yeah, it really is.
It's the specific type of bad writing where there was, like, a maybe okay story, and then you changed it because you were scared of what people would think. Do it.
I love democracy. I love the Republic.
Oh, Palpy.
It's
so
very
stupid.
Episode 2 vibes to it.
Fucking
Like,
worst one. That's
honestly,
the worst fucking Star Wars movie.
Honestly, thinking about this scenario gives me very, like, Episode 2 vibes, like, when, like, they, like, basically conned Jar Jar into giving him all the power. Like, oh, it only takes one senator to be like, oh, we should give, like, Palpatine, like, all of the power.
That's another thing. There's only one fucking senator from every planet in that fucking... See, it's like our Senate... Just shut up, Joe.
Well, technically 2, because there's, like, a senator and a representative, but we're not getting into it.
That was the weird thing. No, that's the weird thing about fucking... About Naboo, is that they're the only fucking system that has 2 senators, because they have one from Naboo and then one from Gungan world underwater.
Well, that's because there was, like, I think
because George Lucas is a bad screenwriter.
Gungan world wants to be represented by Gungans.
I think it was, like, 1 per species or whatever.
What?
We got the ET. Who
We're getting way into the weeds.
Who gives a shit about this fucking garbage? Dude, fucking episode 2's opening is some fucking galaxy brain shit where it's like the opening sentence is like thousands of systems have left the galactic center, and you're just like, fucking thousands? What are you talking about? Like, how big is this fucking thing?
It's so big.
It's a big place, man.
One of the only things I like about the prequels is the aesthetic design of the Senate. It's just like it's just goes on forever. It's just
and then later in the movie they go to like the head, like the fucking like the boardroom of like all the heads of the separatist movement, and it's basically just like this stupid looking robot and a bug guy and Christopher Lee, and it's like, where's the thousands of the other people?
Yeah,
it's that movie.
Just don't think too hard about it. Doesn't make any sense.
Bad movie.
I'm just saying it.
It's the urge to like nerd out here for the sake of
no, I mean, like, I don't
anything.
think Jesse has a rabid thing to this week, so, and he's also being very quiet, which is interesting.
He's looking up.
He's busy. Do you?
Yeah, sorry.
No, we love him. We don't care. It's fine. You can do your thing.
I just realized like I haven't paid attention to fucking anything that you guys have said at all. So.
We were talking about episode 2. It's fine.
Nothing too important.
I still have yet to rewatch episode 3, and I have suspicion that I'm not going to like that either. So, and that's the only one of the prequels that I actually like.
It's like one of the best of like all 11 films.
I don't. But no, I kind of agree with the take though that it's like it's the opening 20 minutes, which is okay, and then it's like nothing really happens until like the end, and like except for like the opera scene, like it's all just like boring fucking bullshit.
Agree. I mean,
I haven't rewatched it in like 10 years though, so you know.
I mean, it might have something to do with the fact that I'm like the borderline Zoomer because I grew up with this shit, but like, like I was like 9 or 10 years old when episode 3 came out.
I still contest that Phantom Menace. It's the best of the prequels.
Like it's Phantom Menace.
We are so off the topic. Yeah. I love it.
I just went to Star
this is
Wars.
What happens when I disappear?
Solid. Yeah, we need you to.
Too bad.
Come to know how much Star Wars sucks.
Star Wars episode. Jesus Christ.
I will say that the reason I don't have a Rabid Rad Libs this week is because I started reading Reform or Revolution by Rosa Luxemburg, and those are being released to patrons as I finish doing them, but in the main feed, they will show up on Sundays.
Hell yeah. It's a very good text. It's very important. You should read it.
Yeah, Rosa Luxemburg is like...
Or listen to us, I mean.
Yeah. I have a giant flag of Rosa Luxemburg in my like living area. But yeah, I mean she was like an absolutely instrumental revolutionary in Germany, and it fucking sucks that she got basically executed by like
murked
Dems.
By the SPD. Yeah. So
bringing you great things all the time.
I always have kind of bad associations with like the Three Arrows thing, because whenever I see the Iron Front, I just think of the violence committed against communists who like had good theory and did good praxis. But then again, most people have lost touch with that third arrow. So sad history lesson, boo hoo. But solidarity with Comrade Rosa.
Very sad.
There it is. Oh, it's got.
So in lieu of a Rabid Rad Lips, we talk about Star Wars. Talk about our opinion on the prequels. Actually, Solo might be the worst Star Wars movie, but I don't know if Oliver we watched that. Oh my god, it's so long, and it has like 14 endings at the end, and it just keeps going, and it explains everything in the most like fanboy approved, but also like predictable for like somebody who's even just like passing fan of Star Wars. It's like, oh, this is so like fuck off, Ron Howard. It's stupid bullshit. Explain how he got his backstory.
It had what's her face?
Amelia Clark.
Yeah, Amelia Clark.
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton.
Hillary Clinton.
That's who Daenerys was on Game of Thrones, was Hillary Clinton. Whoa! Yeah, honestly, that's a take!
When I watched it, when I saw that finale for the first time, like when I started, like, my literal response was, hooray for the neocons!
That's what the show's about. That was what that's all about. It's about fucking neoliberal interventionalism and what it leads to.
Yeah. So what if the guy threw a shoe at me?
I was confused as to why everyone was so upset. Like, why did she go insane? It's like, she's a neocon. This is what they do.
I would say the writing. Jesus Christ, what the fuck are we doing tonight? The writing.
Hey, you started it.
I know. The writing to get to that point was very pale and shallow compared to other seasons. But I kind of started to think the Game of Thrones actually kind of sucked as a show when we got around to season 4. And they introduced the Sand Snakes, like, really poorly, so...
There's a reason for that, because only the first 3 seasons were based off of the books.
Tits. Well, no, but there was 5 books out at that point.
Yeah, but only the first 3 seasons were based upon the books.
Season 4 is pretty close to it. It's not super close, but it's closer than season 5 is. Anyway, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're not fucking gonna negotiate or fucking interrogate fucking Game of Thrones. Shitty ending. Unsatisfying.
Except for this take.
It's fucking the most blunt fucking symbolism of the dragon melting the fucking throne. Jesus Christ, guys. Like, come on, you pieces of shit. Do you have anything that is weird? Shit that you can't make up this week?
Yes.
Me and Scott could just continue to wait.
No, we're not just making this like our pop culture thing. We can fucking record something another day and make that a Patreon thing.
I'm gonna have to edit this later.
No, you're keeping this.
Just gonna cut all of it out.
You need to stop taking me so seriously.
No, but I'm serious. If you want to do it, we can record a Patreon. Anyways, Ellie, what the fuck can't you make up?
Well, Scott, I don't have a very good one this week, but it's better than nothing. This also doubles as bird content, so that's good to know.
Bird content. Always welcome.
Bird.
You can make this shit up with
The headline that I found is voter fraud ruffles New Zealand Bird of the Year competition. And that's definitely another case of copy editor jacking off in their office over this this headline. Apparently, every year, this organization called Forest and Bird, which is a conservation organization, runs
Forest and Burb.
Forest and Burb. They run a contest called Bird of the Year, which is only for New Zealand. It's New Zealand's Bird of
the Year.
And it is, people vote on which is the best bird in New Zealand. And apparently it is more than just a bird popularity contest. They run the election-based competition to help raise awareness about New Zealand's native bird species, many of which are endangered. But
Endangered
burb. This year, somebody tried to vote 1,500 times from the same email address for the little spotted kiwi, or kiwi puku puku. And they
so
were
you see this little spotted kiwi bird of the year, vote it.
They said is amazing bird, but it deserves all the support. But unfortunately, these votes had to be disallowed, and they've been taken out of the competition, which means that
I'm putting in the vote every day. When this silent disallowed, it's a bird.
The other great part is that when the kiwi was disqualified, immediately the kakapo became the winner. And as we may know, the kakapo is the little green parrot dude.
I have to ask.
Yes.
Why are you drifting into
I don't know.
vaguely Hispanic accent?
I don't know.
I've been wondering that, but just not going with it.
Why are we giving New Zealanders a fucking Brooklyn accent?
I don't know. I hope
I don't see the. I mean.
Also, why is Scott trying to do a really bad Why are you trying to sound like
Joey? I don't know what you're talking about here.
I don't know.
Hey,
Joe, why don't you shut the fuck up, okay?
We are transversing.
We both know I'm incapable of shutting up.
Get the fuck out of here. Nobody asked you.
The realm of accent, which are less problematic than other accents. For some reason, despite growing up in a town where there are more folks who are Latinx than not, I never mastered the very particular Latino American accent. At least the one that we had. So you can rest assured that whenever I'm doing an accent, it's not that one, because I can't do that one. Anyway, I would not do it, but I could not do it also. So I don't know what I'm doing right now. I'm telling you about birds.
She could not do it.
Birds
she would not do
are
it.
important.
Could not.
Everyone agrees. Birds are important.
Birds.
And
Sportlets are waiting now.
Yeah. Some kind of Balkan state. Not sure what's happening here. Anyway, the kakapo, which I guess won this contest, is also the little green flightless parrot dude who you may remember from that time that one of them tried to have sex with Stephen Fry's cameraman.
Nope.
You have not seen this?
I have not seen. No, Joe, I haven't seen this.
Well, I will just put a link to that in the chat, and you can watch it.
Joe, you seen this?
We talked about this before.
I think we have, yeah.
It was I think it was the first time we
on the
discussed
show?
bestiality. Yeah,
that's right. Because there was a pheasant also that had sex with a guy.
It was a wild pheasant.
Against
Joe, you seen all these wild pheasants? Oh, look at that thing.
It's something we were talking about.
Yes, I remember this because I was concerned that the bird did not seek consent from the cameraman.
He did not. Yeah,
that is a giant bird.
It was humaniality. Yeah, the kakapos are pretty large. They're pretty big. They're the only flightless parrot in the world, and they are very
there
cute.
he goes to get it.
Yeah.
Chunky bird.
Oh, you watching it?
Flightless birds are terrifying.
He doesn't even give a fuck. There he goes.
Nope.
There he
goes.
goes.
Just wants one thing.
Oh shit. He's just you know what? It's been a long time. Sick of this. He's just smacking him in the face.
He's a lonely guy.
Fantastic. He's just smacking him in the face.
The best part is when Stephen Fry is he's so happy, and he just cuts to the bird, and the bird is that's where party parrot comes from. That's where the party parrot emoji comes from. It is literally.
Oh my god, he's just smacking him in the face.
He's so happy.
This is insane. This is so fucking funny.
The cameraman just kind of goes with it. That's the most insane part, really.
What the fuck did you do, Joe?
You may not get...
Joey, what would you do?
Come on.
Yeah.
You may not get a historical analysis like this from any other podcast. Today we talked about the execution of Rosa Luxemburg and the origin of Party Parrot.
Yeah.
And the history of Star Wars and the history of a galaxy far, far away, long time ago. Fuck
get
that
you
up,
some
Jesus.
learning. on the Epoch.
This bird seriously is the size of like a small dog. It's wild.
He's huge. Yeah. I would not. This is Joe. This is like if you were at your job and then one of the turkeys that you see came over and like tried to have sex with your head.
Yeah.
Very
You would not
intense.
do anything. You'd be like, all right.
You'd be
just
like,
don't
I
fucking
guess
kill
this
me.
is happening.
I've been attacked by a
Like run
turkey
it
before.
over
It
before I
sucks.
let it like do that to my head.
Hear that,
I wonder if you
ladies?
could get workers' comp.
He
for-
would kill. He would kill
Being
before.
ejaculated on by like a giant bird.
Yeah.
If he would kill before he
Or,
would
like,
let himself be
traumatic
raped, what would he do for you? You can cut that out, Jesse.
No.
Anyway, that's
Some shit you can't make up. That's wild.
Yeah, I was thinking about like, did we talk about the monolith already?
No, we haven't. What's up with the monolith? Do you think it's a
the one in, like, the Arizonian
promotional
desert?
gag?
Yeah.
Or do you think it's the aliens? The ancient aliens.
I'm not sure.
It's the engineers from
Honestly,
Prometheus.
It is, the latest news about that is that they are aware of the people that removed it, and I think these guys were, their attitude was like, somebody put this here, and it's, trash, so don't leave man-made things in the desert, so they're acting as though it was not the aliens that put it there. We still don't know.
Extraterrestrials, don't leave your trash in our wasteland.
Don't leave your fucking viral marketing campaigns in the desert.
Yeah,
don't fucking pieces of shit.
It seems like it was probably some burners. It was like probably some Burning Man enthusiasts that did this because they said leave no trace specifically as they removed it and took it away. But we still don't know where it came from. We really don't. So could be aliens. I don't know.
I hope it is, you know.
Could at least the aliens take like Rahm Emanuel with them, like on the way out? If they're not gonna like pick up their own trash, could they at least pick up ours?
I would not.
Oh.
You know, hurt the possible relations that we could have with the intergalactic species.
True.
You know,
Intergalactic.
I wouldn't want to put the
Planetary.
crippling pressures of having to deal with Rahm Emanuel on our intergalactic comrades.
Don't send him.
Or we can hope that these monoliths are the beginning of the zone from Stalker. We'll find it and we'll be able to get our deepest ambition granted to us, which is usually a ruinous thing. You should watch the movie. It's very good. I guess I'm going to recommend that to watch.
Do it.
Comrade Scott tells you what to watch.
Stalker by Andrei Tarkovsky in 1979. It's literally one of my favorite movies. Might be in my top. Well, it is literally on my top 4 on my Letterboxd. And also, talking about ancient aliens, I'm going to recommend Prometheus. I watched it last night. It's not perfect, but it's good. It's weird. It's weird as fuck. It's got a lot of rape imagery in it. It's good. It's a good movie.
It's like the whole series. That's the whole point. That's
Probably
the whole
not a good
analysis of Alien.
I feel like it's not a good pitch. It's not a good pitch to be like it has a lot of rape in it, and it's
well.
good.
That's the entire. That's the the literal premise of the original Alien is that capitalism is a force that has raped people of their autonomy and will destroy the working class. That's literally what the first Alien is about. And so Prometheus is the only Alien movie that's really returned back to the thematics of rape. And in this movie, it's about the discovery, it's about the intrusion of like discovery in colonialism and the rape of men believing that they're gods. And so like their ambitions push them to be an intrusive force on the rest of the world and thus rape the rest of the world. And so it's the way it uses the thematics and the imagery. It's very strong. It's very striking. It's very disturbing.
Remember to get consent before you shove your proboscis down someone's throat.
Yeah, we might want to put a lot of rape has been discussed in this episode.
Content warning. At least we're just talking about like fictional rape imagery by
that's true.
Fake aliens instead of actual. But still.
And that's the secret to unlocking basically every Ridley Scott film. And it's also the secret to unlocking every Orson Welles film and a lot of British filmmakers is that they hate the fucking rich. And Ridley Scott's movies are literally about how the rich ruin the world. So
Actually, I do kind of have a PSA. Lately, I guess I've had more of a sort of personal exposure to stigma involving women and bodily autonomy and fucking just like support sex workers, people.
Hell yeah. Saying it again.
Support sex
That's a good
worker
message to leave out on
comrades.
Yeah, support sex worker comrades, and also if you find out that someone has a place where you can give them money and then you can see their boobs or whatever, but you know them personally, talk to them before you do this.
Yeah,
or don't do it at all.
Don't bring that conversation into the fucking workplace, especially when you could be putting somebody's job at risk by exposing them or making them vulnerable more so than they already are. It's just like fucked up and like exploitative and more of a reflection of how much of a fucking incel you are. So don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, just because this is a situation where it's like, yes, capitalism has allowed us to be at this place where a woman can just be like, you can give me money to see my boobs. That's legit. But also, don't immediately commodify her just because she's doing that.
Yeah, don't be an incel.
Yeah,
I like the don't be an incel message.
Don't be an incel.
It's very easy not to be an incel.
If you are struggling to have like romantic encounters, like that sucks. And I'm sorry. And like sometimes it can be really frustrating. But like if you treat all of your fellow humans with respect and you respect that bodily autonomy I was just talking about, like it'll happen for you. Just fucking be patient and like work on yourself and don't stigmatize people because they're able to use their bodies in ways that you can't.
Yeah, not everyone gets to have boobs. They're pretty cool, I know.
Fuck yeah.
I'm pro boobs.
We're very pro boob podcast, yes. Jesus.
Wet ass P word.
God, dude, you're a very smutty podcast. I didn't know. Such a smutty podcast.
Hey,
I mean, if anything, fucking give them Patreon money so I can get out of this fucking cave and start listening to this smutty garbage.
From Iran, folks.
Yeah. Get me home from Iran so I can
David.
stop listening to such smutty garbage on my podcast feed.
Yeah.
Dave wants out of the cave.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you?
You know it, Joey. Sorry, that was weird. That was like History of Violence. Like that was like Ed Harrison History of Violence weird. That was genuinely strange for me. I'm sorry, Joe.
It's incredibly weird. Okay.
Fuck.
Joey.
Joe.
Joey Jojo.
I should recommend that movie, History of Violence. It's good. Watch it.
Oh, fuck.
Shouldn't call that. It's at least high school. I think Scott's like the first person to call me that in at least 5 years.
I will never ever call you Joey. I will always only
Thank you.
call you Joe Jojo Shabadoo Jr. Or Joey Jojo Jr. Shabadoo.
Okay, not where I thought I was gonna go, but
No, but Joe, have you seen History of Violence?
I think so. Not recently.
Not recently. You should watch it again. I'm recommending it for all the listeners. My name is Scott. It's getting late, guys. We should call it a night. My name is Scott.
His name is
And I'm
Scott.
on. Oh, if we want to have some vocal accompaniment, I don't mind. My name is Scott. Ooh, and I'm on Twitter. You can find me at DeathMullet. Ooh. And I'm also on Instagram at DeathMullet. Ooh, Joey, go.
Shut. I'm too lazy to tell people where to find me.
Joe, say your name again.
I'm Joe.
There we go. And
That's
he's too
Ellie.
lazy to give his information, and now we have Ellie.
That's all.
It's getting really weird.
All right. Well, to
So
close out
weird.
the least informative outro that our show has possibly ever had, I'm Jesse, and I am the de facto producer, along with Comrade Scott.
Yeah, getting the white bread tonight, folks.
You can find my music on soundcloud.com/contingentsboston. You can find our website at comrade-rosie.org. And if you are so inclined, please hit that Getting Involved tab. Choose one or more mutual aid groups to donate either time or money to, because people need your help. Thank
Yes.
you.
We love it, folks. We love it.
That's
We love it.
You can find us at Twitter. You can find us on Instagram. That's at Epic Incredulity. But more importantly, we are at Epic Incredulity on Patreon if you want to hear some extra content, as Jesse has alluded to. Also, we're going to try to start to record some episodes exclusively for the Patreon, some ideas we're playing with, and I'll tease a little bit as we want to do an episode on psychedelic consciousness. We also want to do an episode, at least I want to do an episode on why we need to keep a sense of hope and not dread for the future and not think the future will be worse, because that's a pretty ruinous effect on our organizing and ability to fight the state, as it were. I think, at least, it's a mental prison.
It's like being an incel.
We'll talk about it later. But those are some ideas. Yeah. And so please go to our Patreon at Epic Incredulity. That's our Patreon. You can find it there. It's only $3 if you want some of that exclusive content.
Some of that good.
You want it, folks. We're on Facebook and we're on YouTube. You can find those things. You love it. Get involved with mutual aid. Get involved with
get all that nice stuff.
Some of that shit. The local lord. Unionize your workforce. You want to do it, folks. You love it. It's the nasaliest Trump I've ever done. Either way, you love it. That's your epoch.
Actually, wait, no. I changed the outro. I
really
recorded a different one.
Your theme song is much more involved and long, and
now it's like
involved and long. You might be hearing this.
I'm just gonna fucking use this instead.
Trying to go with it before it becomes rude. Before it's not rude for me to be why is this happening?
Oh my god. I didn't pay attention to half this episode. It's probably gonna be so bad.
Oh, it's gonna be lovely.
Can't wait. I cannot wait to edit this because I'll be hearing
Star Wars.
a lot of it for the first time.
All of
I have to
this
say.
stupid as shit Star Wars discussion, yeah.
It's really, I just had to do that?
Joe, is that the dead guy? Or who is that?
What?
You just posted a thing in the politics channel. Who's that? Also, if you're on our Patreon, you get access to our Discord. Yep.
There was a headline in
that started with energy and then went down like a rock.
So there was a headline in Business Insider. I just thought it was hilarious. The headline is, an anti-gay Hungarian politician has resigned after being caught by the police fleeing a 25-man orgy through a window.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't see the whole headline. I could only see caught by.
Heard about that.
I heard about you.
Found out about you.
Whatever.
I wonder why he was fleeing the orgy. Why did he choose
He loved it. Why did all these homosexual men insist on sucking my cock?